Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Lightning TV, brought to you, of course, in association with mjdphoto.biz. A bumper edition of Lightning TV this week. We'll talk about the Cup final in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, last week's visitors to the Sky Dome up in Coventry, of course, were Guildford Flames. So introducing tonight's visitors to the Sky Dome here in Coventry is Guildford Flames. Number 1, Mark Lee. Number 4, Neil Lydiard. 6 is David Savage, 7 is Martin Apatowski, 14 Stuart Potts, 16 Andrew Hemmings, 19 is Tom Duggan, 22 is Paul Dixon, 25 David Longstaff, 27 Nicky Watt, 28 Marcus Christopherson, 29 James Hadfield, 30 Greg Rotman, 33 Blanchard Veton, 39 Curtis Huppy, 47 Dean Holland, 48 Ben Campbell, 55 Ricky Skeen, 64 is Andrew Sharp, and 82 is Jez London. That's Guildford Flames. So introducing Milton Keynes Lightning this evening, once again of course warming up in their Northgate sponsored green jerseys. Number 1 Jordan Headley, 3 is Paul Gore, 5 is Ben Russell, 8 Blaz Emisic of course, 9 Graham McPherson, 10 Connor Good, 12 is Yanni Yokola, 14 Jordan Cowney, 17 Stanislas Lacek, 18 Adam Carr, 19 is Lee Jameson, 21 is Ross Green, 23 Tom Carlon, 55 Michael Farm, 61 is Ross Bowers, 66 Lewis Christie, 78 is Lucas Zadapek, and 93 of course is Stephen Wall. Your officials for this evening, your linesmen are Jason Earl and Tom Gillingham, and your referee is Tim Pickett. So a great result up at the Sky Dome on Saturday night, of course. Not quite the result we wanted on Sunday, but let's go and check out the rest of last weekend's results and we'll see what that did to Sunday night's league table. So once again it was a full programme of games in the English Premier League on Saturday night. Basingstoke beat Slough 6-2 at home, whilst fellow contenders Manchester took the points back up the M6 as they beat Bracknell Bees 5-1 at the Hive. Elsewhere, Swindon beat Phantoms 4-3 after penalties, and Telford continued their great form by beating Sheffield 4-1 on the road. On to Sunday night then, and Guildford proved just a little bit too strong for Lightning on Sunday night as they won 7-4 down at the Spectrum, whilst Manchester beat Swindon 4-3 in Altrincham. Peterborough continued their apparent recovery as they beat Sheffield at home 5-4, and there were wins for both Basingstoke and Telford as they beat Slough and Bracknell respectively. Onto that league table then, and Basingstoke still occupy that top spot on goal difference, but Manchester still have those games in hand. Guildford are now 6 points clear of Lightning, but Nick Paul's men still have 2 games in hand over their Surrey rivals. Meanwhile, Telford have opened a 4-point gap on Swindon after the weekend's results, then it's Sheffield and Bracknell. Slough now look to be out of any playoff hopes, but Peterborough Phantoms are still in there and they'll be fighting right up until that very last game. Well, of course, Wednesday night up at Sky Dome up in Coventry, of course, was the first leg of the cup final against Basingstoke Bison. The second leg, of course, is next Wednesday, the 12th, down in Basingstoke. Let's go and have a look and see what happened on Wednesday night. So, lining up for Basingstoke Bison is EPL Cup Final first leg here at Coventry. Number 4, Matt Selby. Number 6, Michael Wales. 7 is Kurt Reynolds. 9, Andrew Mediterrano. 11, Zach Sullivan. 14 is Cameron Wynn, 15 Joe Baird, 18 Miroslav Van Troba, 27 Nick Chin, 28 Doug Shepherd, 35 Connor Standing, 44 Thomas Karpov, 45 is Dean Skins, 57 is Danny Inglesby, 63 Aaron Connolly, 81 is Carl Graham, 86 is Joe Rand, 89 Kieran Long, 94 Stuart Mogg and 97 is Joe Greener. And your home team, Milton Keynes Lightning, once again warming up in their Northgate sponsored green shirts. Number 1, Jordan Headley. 3, Paul Gore. 5, Ben Russell. 8 is Blaz Emmerich. 9, Grant McPherson. 12 is Yanni Yockler. 14, Jordan Cowney. 17 is Stanislas Lachek. 18, Adam Carr. 19 is Lee Jameson. 21, Ross Green. 23, Tom Carlin. 55, Michael Farnes. 61 is Ross Bowers. 66, Lewis Christie. 78, Lucas Zadapek. And 93, Stephen Wall. That's Milton Keynes Lightning. And your officials this evening, your referee are Dave Cloutman and Joy Johnston, and your linesman Jason Earle and Matt Kavanagh. So there you go, a 4-1 loss, not quite the scoreline that Lightning would have wanted, of course, but still, they can still turn that round this Wednesday night down in Basingstoke, as we said. There are still a couple of seats available on the coach going down to Basingstoke. If you want to travel, of course, all you need to do is go on the Lightning website. It's www.mk-lightning.com, or send an email to travel@mk-lightning.com. It's as simple as that. We want to get as many people down to Basingstoke on Wednesday night to lend the guys their support. 3 periods of ice hockey left, a 3-goal deficit. The boys can certainly do it with the right support. We hope to see you there. Now, it won't have escaped your attention, of course, that the Winter Olympics and the Paralympics are actually taking place at the moment. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, of course, in the ladies' final, USA against Canada, we didn't have any GB representation, or did we? Joy Johnston, the referee from the EPL, of course, was officiating in that final game. And earlier on this week, I caught up with Joy to find out what she thought about her Olympic ventures. Almost 2 weeks ago, you're refereeing probably one of the most watched games of ice hockey, be it men's or women's, in a long time. And tonight, here you are in the Skydome in Coventry, refereeing the EPL final. Yeah. Big difference.
Yeah, you know, actually my first game back was last weekend in Peterborough, so that was a real shock to the system. But yeah, it's hard to believe that 2 weeks ago I was in the Bolshoi Ice Dome in Sochi and skating my heart out and enjoying the best game of hockey I've ever had the opportunity to referee. And then tonight, you know, I'm back here doing what I normally do, loving it, I guess.
So that was your third Olympics. I mean, a lot of people will have read your blog whilst you're over in Sochi, and I've got to say the blog was absolutely brilliant. I don't know how many people would have read it, but I just saw it being retweeted. It was on social media, and you know, that was your third Olympics. But does that one top them all?
Yeah, it definitely does. And just a big thank you to everyone really for reading the blog. You know, you kind of start writing it and you think, oh, is anyone actually really interested? And then, you know, you start to find out the people back home are reading it, they're interested, they're excited about it. And then you'll kind of find yourself sitting up at 3 a.m. writing it just to make sure people back home know what's going on. But yeah, for me it was a pretty special Olympics. You know, getting selected for any Olympics is special. But I had a pretty tough couple of years, and I wasn't sure that I was even going to carry on, you know, with my regular season stuff, let alone the international side. So to even get selected to go after where I was a couple of years before was amazing. And then just skate the way I did, perform the way I did, and get the games that I did was just the icing on the cake, really.
It was such an awesome game as well to watch, and yet when the game was on, all the tweets on social media and everything were things like, well, Joy's having a great game, Joy's having a great... Forget the result, Joy's having a great game. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually, because I had my husband and one of my good friends there, and I think he was on the edge of his seat for the whole game, just thinking, I don't care who wins, I just want no controversy and I want a good game, you know, I want Joy to have a good game. And I think that was a nice thing as well, you know, everyone was tuning in back home. The amount of people that said they'd never watched a hockey game but they were tuning in to watch the referee was just insane.
I have to say as well, you actually, you know, without any bias, you probably got a lot of people have said to me as well, you got the best game of the tournament, you know, the women's final, because the game itself was absolutely awesome, and also you weren't afraid to make those tough calls near the end.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, and you're always going to come into controversy. You make calls in overtime. I think one of the nicest things for me when I got back to the hotel after the game was I walked back into the hotel and I got a standing ovation and a round of applause from all the NHL guys. And, you know, you just kind of sit there, and I started to well up a little bit and was like, wow, these guys do this for a living and they're giving me a round of applause. So, yeah, you put in those situations because you make those decisions. People are not going to be happy either way. You know, you call something, you don't call something, you're always going to upset some people. That's the nature of the job.
Talk about the difference. Obviously, you're refereeing the men's game over here in, you know, the English Premier League, and yet you go over there. The rules are very slightly different. There's very subtle changes, but it's a completely different game. How do you actually sort of make that change mentally for yourself?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. It is a different game. It's a much more open game. It's a much more strategic passing game. It's a flowing game. It's finesse. So for me to referee it, you know, I'm picking the small penalties out. You know, you have to really look for them. Whereas, you know, week in, week out, it's a different game here. There's check-in for a start. That changes the cycles. It changes where the play is. It changes where you look as a referee. I think one of the big things for me obviously was working a 3-man system before I went, knowing that I was going to have to work the three-man system at the Olympics. We spoke with the English Ice Hockey Association, and they supported me to work the three-man in the English Premier League in the run-up, which the players supported, the coaches supported, and that was...
So that was a conscious decision between all the clubs and the EIHA as well before you actually went to get you ready for that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's helpful, and fair play to all of the clubs. They accepted it and they were happy with it, even though the rest of the games were done on a four-man where they could be. Now I'm back tonight, I'm doing a four-man system, getting used to it, and the rest of my colleagues know what they're doing. So it's nice to have that kind of support across the country, definitely.
One thing I did notice when on the social media and on the Facebook page as well, obviously, Scott went out with you, and you were missing a major part of your life for this Olympics, and probably your biggest game, that you really would have, I know you would have wanted to see your dad. He would have been so proud of you. But going on to the other bits as well, how many selfies did you take on social media? I've seen a photo of you with Matthew Pinson. You've had your photo taken with a Czech national side. Yeah. You just went photo crazy over there, and that's not like you.
Yeah, I'm not actually on any social media. Like Scott's on social media, and he kind of updates bits and pieces. So the blog really for me was the only social media I've ever really done. And part of it is just because I don't want to be found by people. But when you're at the Olympics, you only get these opportunities once. So if I find out that I'm in an ice rink and Sidney Crosby's there, I'm probably going to stand outside the dressing room and wait to have my picture with him. But I would like to add, Matthew Pinson actually tweeted the picture of me and him. It wasn't me. He was so excited to meet me, which was really nice and a little bit surreal. I kind of went over and said, "Oh, hi Matthew, I'm Joy. I'm the ice hockey." He went, "Oh, I've been wanting to catch up with you. Come here for a picture." And I was like, "Great, okay." I took a few selfies, but it's amazing the other people that take pictures with you, which is pretty cool.
Memories are going to last a lifetime, and of course you come back here to reality. I know you got a good welcome in Peterborough last week. There was a pretty good welcome for you here as well, and as you say, the support has been pretty damn good. Yeah,
it's been amazing. I've been refereeing for about 18 years now, and I take the abuse week in, week out, but at the same time I think what was nice about the blog was my opportunity to show the fans that I might turn up week in, week out, and I might make mistakes, we all do, but actually I work bloody hard throughout the week, training with my diet, with the rules. I'm working pretty hard, so if I make a mistake, I'm as mad at myself as you guys are mad at me. So
that's one thing I noticed on your blog, actually. One thing I did take away from your blog, I took a lot of things, but you did actually say at the end of the day, the fans are the people that pay the money. They're perfectly entitled to express their opinion, and that is really refreshing to see from an official in any sport.
Yeah, I think we're all happy for that to happen, particularly during the game. I think that the thing that upsets us most is probably when we're accused of cheating, because whatever we're doing out there, we're doing it because we see something and we're interpreting it as the right decision on the game. There's no cheating involved. So I think that we find really offensive. When the game's done, the game is done. I think there's that respect amongst officials and players. Sometimes it doesn't quite translate across to fans as well, and I think it would be nice if that was picked up as well. But otherwise, you pay your money, shout on me, that's fine.
That's right. I know a lot of people are going to bear that in mind in future games, I can promise you that. Well, Joy, that's brilliant. Thanks ever so much for taking the time to talk to us. Do wish you all the very best in your referee in the future. Do you reckon you got one more Olympics in you, maybe a couple?
I'm not thinking about anything just now. I'm going to finish the season here, have a bit of a break over the summer, and then refocus, because 4 years is a long way away.
I don't think anybody that doubts you deserve a break, but thanks very much for chatting to us.
Thanks.
Well, many thanks to Joy for taking the time to chat to Lightning TV just the other night. Now, don't forget, of course, over the next coming week or so, Lightning are very, very busy again. It's Slough away on Saturday night, Swindon at home on Sunday, and don't forget, all-important cup final, second leg, down in Basingstoke on Wednesday, the 12th of March. Now, if you want to get more information about travel and everything else, and don't forget, of course, the end of season party coming up on the 13th of April. For more information about all that, all you need to do is go to the Lightning website, www.mk-lightning.com. That's www.mk-lightning.com. That's all we've got for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.